It's time to discuss the answer for GS paper 1 for prelims 2022. And at ALS Edukemy, we have decided that instead of one front line or lead faculty coming and giving explanation and telling you the answer for paper 1, 5 of us will sit and we'll have a conversation about the answer for the questions which were asked in paper 1. But before we start discussing the answer, in general, let us first see how was the question this year and what can be the possible and probable cutoff. If you ask me, when we also have solved the paper on our own after the exam, what we found that on the basis of difficulty levels in various module of GS, we will rate the question almost the way it was previous year. So we are expecting for general category, the cutoff will be in the range of 86 to 88 or 85 to 90. In that range, we are first, means prima facie, we are predicting the cutoff to be. And particularly if we see in history, the difficulty level of questions were higher in comparison with previous 2-3 years. Similarly, in economics, we have found the difficulty level of questions slightly higher in comparison with previous year and 2 years. In polity, I would say that if we do year-to-year comparison, then this year some of the questions were easy, and similarly in geography, I would say that some of the questions were very straightforward and easy in comparison to previous year. But overall, if we see economics, history, polity, geography, science and technology, current affairs, then what we are finding that we are expecting cutoff to be in the range for general category somewhere around 85, 86. Okay. So this is the first, first impression which we got after solving the paper. I have with me Jojo Matthew sir, Sabir sir. I also have with me Alok Shankar Jha and Ajay Srivastava, and all 5 of us together, one by one, will be taking up questions and will be telling you answer, and wherever some discussion and some explanation needed, required, we will be providing. But before that, I would like Jojo sir to give his opening comment on the question paper and the probable possible cutoff.
So, see, the thing is, every time when we analyze the question paper, we always feel that the first reaction is questions are a bit easy. Then later on, as we revise the question or as we start looking again and again, we feel that things are not that easy. So once again, the same thing, I think like last year, where the cutoff has come down to almost 87, it may be in a similar range. It cannot be, it may not be more, it cannot be less. So it may be anywhere between 85 to 90. That is what we generally feel. But this is only a first remark. You should not take it that 100% serious. So if you are able to get anything above 80 in this paper for a general category candidate, I will feel I should advise that you should go ahead with your preparation for main exam as early as possible without any delay, because anything above 80, it's a question of 1 or 2 questions here and there. And moreover, as we know very well, there are at least 5 questions in this paper where the answers are not very clear. So we should always keep that margin of error. So I believe anyone who is getting above 80 out of 200 in paper 1 as a general category candidate should be seriously preparing for the main exam. That is the first reaction from my side.
Okay, so now Sabir ji, can you give your opening comment on the question paper in paper 1?
What I like about this question paper this year is the paper is very, very balanced. What we found is the questions across subjects, economy, polity, geography, topics of current affairs and general study, general knowledge, GK. The questions are in the range of 12, 13, 14 questions for each section. The very balanced paper. And sir very rightly remarked that anybody scoring 80, I would say anybody scoring even above 75 for that matter. Because you never know how the things change. Last time I remember some of them had predicted cutoff at 90 and many people had stopped studying who had scored in the range of 87, 88 also. And some had predicted a cutoff of even 93, 94 also. So take a good margin. Anybody scoring above 75, 78, okay, I think you should get into serious preparation of the mains examination, and we'll clarify eventually what are the questions that need to be debated again. But that's my suggestion. There are speculations, I can understand, but let us not be influenced by that. So all the best, all of you. I think we can get started. If sir has to say something.
Yes. So means what he is saying that if you are getting anything above 75 and above, it should be treated as a borderline, and if you are getting 80 and above, the probability and possibility of you getting a call for main very high. So on very serious note, start the preparation for the main. I have with me Alok Shankar Jha. I would like him to give some comment on questions in history in general.
Yeah, sir. History questions are, of course, some typical questions we have, but they are still following some general pattern because they are asking question related to historical terms, historical texts. They are also asking question related to historical person. So they are following the same trend, but yes, some complicated question they are asking, but we can still manage 5-6 questions out of 14 or 15 questions they have asked. Out of that, right, we can manage 5 or 6 questions very easily. Fine. So you should not consider it as a big challenge, but yes, textbook reading would be right. A relevant strategy now. We cannot just prepare by going for some compiled kind of material. So now in the coming days, probably we have to emphasize textbook reading. We have to emphasize all those terms. And if you have seen, there is a growing importance of ancient and medieval India. Generally, we follow modern India-based approach in preliminary examination. But you have realized it, like last 2 years, they are asking more questions from ancient medieval and of course, culture-related question of ancient and medieval India. Fine. So gradually, right, in coming discussion, we will be elaborating how or where, right, we should emphasize.
Now, very quickly, if Ajay can comment on economics questions and his first response on question paper.
As far as economics is concerned, I think as the rest of the question paper, it seems that the question paper is becoming more reasonable in comparison to the previous 2-3 years. This will help to make a distinction between the students who have studied properly, serious students and a non-serious student. So I think most of the questions they are moving towards conceptual side. There have been 3 distinct types of questions which are asked in economics, which we'll get into detail when we get into the detailed discussion on every point.
Okay, so now straightway we will go for discussion for the answers of, and we have with us this booklet B. Okay, so we will be following booklet or test series B to give you explanation for questions, and we will be going in a sequential manner from question number 1 to question number 100, and others, if you are struggling to find the mapping. So question number 1 to 10 in booklet B is what is question number 41 to 50 in booklet A, question number 51 to 60 in booklet C, question number 81 to 90 in booklet D. So we will go, in accordance with questions which are in booklet D. So the first question is from Environment and its Climate Action Tracker as an organization. But what is there? It was in news for different regions. But if you see various options given in this question, you can easily eliminate because climate action tracker is neither a wing nor a committee nor a agency, but actually climate action tracker, it is an independent scientific analysis, and that tracks the government's climate action and measures globally agreed Paris Climate Agreement to keep the warming within 2 degrees Celsius in comparison with pre-industrial revolution, and going all out to limit the warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And basically this climate action tracker is a database which has been created by coalition of two very important research organizations. One is Climate Analytics and second is New Climate Institute. And since 2009, it is into this job. So the answer for question number 1 is A, Alpha, database created by coalition. Coming to question number 2. Again, it is a question related with environment only. And if I have to tell you, E100, again, it was in news for many reasons. Okay. So basically what I would just like to tell you that this climate group is an international non-profit organization which was founded in 2003, and it has come up with this idea of EP100. EP100 basically, this climate group has estimated that if top 100 companies in the world, if they will increase their energy productivity, then significant amount of emission can be prevented. Okay, so if we go by this, very easily you can find the answer to be B, Bombay.
I'll take up question number 3. It is from geography related to environment and wetland issues. It says if rainforests and tropical forests are the lungs of the earth, the wetlands are the kidneys. So the answer for this, I think, is pretty straightforward. The aquatic plants, the mangrove forests, the estuaries, they have the ability of absorbing pollutants and heavy metals like cadmium, arsenic, and the rest. And they also are responsible for neutralizing the effects of eutrophication. So I think it's a very straight question. 3 answer is D, delta.
So now we will move to question number 4. Okay, and in question number 4, there are 4 statements given related with WHO air quality guidelines. These guidelines were published after a gap of 15 years in 2021, and probably that could be the reason why they have asked this question, but some conceptual statements are also there. Okay, so there are 4 statements and we have to find the correct ones. So the first statement says that 24-hour mean of particulate matter 2.5 should not exceed 15, and annual mean of particulate matter 2.5 should not exceed 5. Okay, so as far as this statement 1 is concerned, it's correct. In statement 2, in a year, the highest level of ozone pollution occurs during the period of inclement weather. Now, this statement is incorrect, and some pollution such as ground level ozone is made more efficient in sunny and hot weather. So, statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 3, if you see, says that the particulate matter can penetrate the lung barrier and enter the bloodstream. While we were solving, there were some difference of opinion about the correctness of this statement, but finally what we have concluded that particulate matter can move deep up to lung, but it cannot penetrate, particulate matter 10, can penetrate deep up to lung, but it cannot, cross the lung barrier to enter into the bloodstream. And this is why we have decided that this statement number 3 is wrong. And the statement number 4, that excessive ozone in the air can trigger asthma, but one thing, ground ozone is bad ozone, whereas ozone in the which is embedded in higher atmosphere is good ozone. So it's talking about ground ozone, which can trigger asthma. 4 is correct. So the answer for question number, 4 is B, beta, where 1 and 4 are correct and 2 and 3 statements are wrong. Now we will move to question number 5, which is from science.
Question number 5 with respect to Gucci, sometimes mentioned in news, is basically a very costly mushroom which is being developed, or rather which is being used in western Himalayas, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, even in Jammu and Kashmir. So because it's a mushroom, it's a fungus. It's grown in some Himalayan forest area. So 1 and 2 are correct. So answer should be C. And it is not cultivated in the northeastern India, it is in northwestern India. So that is how it is coming. So the answer should be C. So then question number 6 is with reference to polyethylene terephthalate. Okay. And question number 6, the answer is A. And 1 and 3 are correct. And in fact, its fiber can be blended with wool and cotton fibers to reinforce their properties. And the bottle made of it can be recycled into other products. So these 3 are, in fact, only 2 options are given. We have to go for elimination here. Even though some of these containers can be used for storing alcoholic beverages also, but we have 1 and 3 are more appropriate. So we don't have a third option to be added. So that is why we are going ahead with A. 6 is A. That is 1 and 3 are correct. Other 2 can be eliminated in the process. And question number 7, it is about which of the following is not a bird. This golden measure is not a bird. All other 3 are birds. So we have straight away Indian nightjar, spoonbill, white ibis. All are birds. Golden, golden measure is a fish. So which is not a. So answer is A, which is not a bird. 7A is the answer. Then coming to question number 8, the answer is A again. 1, 3, and 4 are correct. Which of the following are nitrogen fixing plants? So alpha is there, chickpea is there, clovers are there, but others are like amaranth or kulfa, spinach are there, all nitrogen using. They will be consuming, but 1, 3, and 4 are the most appropriate answers. So answer should be A as far as this question nitrogen fixing plants are concerned. Then question number 9, that is in this series, that is bio-rock technology. Which is the following? It is about, again, answer is A. It's about restoration of damaged coral reefs. In fact, by using some electrolysis process and all, we are trying to activate and speed up the process of formation of the corals. That is what we are trying in bio-rock technology. So question number 9, here the restoration, A should be the answer. Similarly, question number 10, which is the Miyawaki method. It's a Japanese technology whereby how to develop gardens using, or rather, how to develop a mini forest in urban areas, where the space is very less. When you have very little space, a few square yards, how to develop a multi-species mini forest to be created. This is a Japanese technology. We are trying even in Hyderabad and all. So that is where this Miyawaki technology is being. So answer should be C in this particular case. And question number 11. Here, see question number 11. Manish, you just tell in other series what is the that is important for us. Yes.
So now in the B series, we are moving from question number 11 to question number 20, and same 10 questions in series A is serial numbered 31 to 40, whereas in series C it is 61 to 70, and in D series it is 91 to 100.
So question number 11, this Aryoga Setu, Kovin, DigiLocker, Diksha, all are on open source digital platform. So question number 11 is C. Sorry, is it D? Question number 11 is D. All are there. See 1, 2, 3, and 4. In fact, there are some confusion regarding this Kovin, whether it is a open source or not, but it has been fully clarified now. All the 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, all are in the open source platform only. Similarly, question number 12, where with reference to Web 3.0, consider the following statement. All the 3 statements are correct. So D is the answer. Web 3.3 technology enables people to control their own data. In Web 3.3 world, there can be blockchain-based social network operated by users collectively rather than by a corporation. So all the 3 statements are correct in question number 12. So answer should be D. Similarly, question number 13. Again, luckily, this time what I have found is most of the statements they are giving right. All the 3 statements are correct again in question number 13. That is software as a service, SaaS. All the 3 statements are correct. Buyers can customize their user interface and can change data field also. Can access their data through their mobile devices. Yahoo Mail or Hotmail, all are based on the same idea only, SaaS only. So all the 3 statements are correct. So question number 13, it is B. Then coming to the next question, that is question number 14 about a fractional orbital bombardment system. It's a very interesting thing. Answer is C. Here, this is a missile which can be launched in an orbit, and this missile will revolve around the Earth, and finally, depending upon the requirement, it can finally get guided to a particular target. So you will never know when it is launched. Nobody can guess for whom this missile is launched. So this particular technology, what we call fractional orbital bombardment system, even though it is not a new technology, it was first developed in 1965, but it's a very costly affair. Then we had this various arms control treaties which were coming up, START 1, START 2, you might have heard of all these things. So this was not, especially after START 2, this has been controlled actually, or it has not been developed by USSR or US and all. But now it is in news. That is why it has come in the question right now, because China, or rather US is accusing that China is developing the same technology once again, or they are trying to have missiles can be launched in the orbit, it will be revolving in the orbit, and as and when it is required, it can be guided to a target. It can be really dangerous. So all the anti-missile technologies will fail in this particular case. So it's a very interesting one, fractional orbital bombardment one. So answer is C. 14 is answer is C. Coming to question number 15, it's a simple question about qubit, the quantum computing. That is, we know the binary numbers in our computing system, 1 and 2 are open and close, or on or off. But here in quantum computing, we are talking, it's a new technology, or rather it is a future technology, quantum computing, and where qubits are used in quantum computing. So in this particular case, answer should be B. And where you will be saying that a particular object can have, it may not be, you may not be decide whether it's on or off. It can be in between also. It's very interesting, and it is the future technology. Coming to question number 16 here, following technologies which are short-range device technologies. All the 3 are short-range device technologies. So D is the answer, because whether it is a closed-circuit television, radio frequency identification, wireless local area network, all the 3 are short-range device technologies only. So question number 16 should be D. Then coming to question number 17, biofilms. Again, all the 3 statements are correct. See, you are lucky to get such questions where even if you have slight doubts, we can go ahead. Okay, here all the 2 questions are correct. All the 3 questions, all statements are correct. Biofilms can form on medical implants within the human tissue. Then biofilms can form on food and food processing surfaces. Biofilms can exhibit antibiotic resistance also. See, unfortunately, in our question which is typed, there are 3 statements. The 3rd statement, biofilms can exhibit antibiotic resistance. See, biofilm, best example is our tooth plague. The coloring which is there, that's a good example of biofilm. Or, on a pond, on a local pond, if a surface is filled with algae, that is also a biofilm. So many examples of biofilms are there. And it can, all the 3 statements given in this question are correct. So answer should be D. And now moving into question number 18 regarding probiotics. Here, luckily or unfortunately, anyway, again in the option there, all the 3 statements are not there. So you have to identify 2 of them which are correct. It is 1 and 3 are correct. So 18 question answer is C. The second statement, See, probiotic dahi, probiotic curd which we consume, it can be made of both bacteria and yeast, which is correct. Second statement is wrong. The organisms in probiotics are found in food we ingest, but they do not naturally occur in our gut. That is wrong. It is actually enhancing the gut flora. Probiotics will help in increasing the quantity of the bacteria in our stomach, which is already present. We are enhancing it. So it is the second statement saying that they are not naturally occurring in our gut. That is not naturally occurring in our intestine. That is wrong. So second statement is wrong. 1 and 3 are correct. So answer is C. Question number 19 about the COVID-19 pandemic and the vaccines which are coming. So B is the answer. 2 and 3 are correct because the Serum Institute of India produced COVID-19 vaccine named Covishield. The Serum Institute has not produced this Covishield, Covishield only. Yeah. So that is correct. But in Serum Institute's issue, just a minute, let me just look into that. Yeah, so the Covishield is made from a weakened version of a common cold virus known as adenovirus. So, Covishield from mRNA platform is wrong. It is from a common cold virus known as adenovirus. Covaxin is an inactivated viral vaccine. Sputnik is an adenovirus vector platform. Okay, so in among the three, one is wrong. So, answer should be B. So, question number 19, the answer should be B. 2 and 3 are correct. And coming to question number 20. Yeah, that is a geography question about solar flare.
Yes,
will be
I'll
answering.
take that up,
Yeah.
sir. So question number 20 is for solar flare, and I think in this question paper I'll consider this question as the showstopper. Okay, I do not remember in my learning and teaching history we ever had a question that had 7 statements. And while I was doing this question, by the time I read all the statements and the choices, I had forgotten the question itself. So this is the showstopper for me. Fine, let's start off with this one. So I think most of us know what is a solar flare or solar storm. Is a phenomena where the sun starts to heat up dramatically, and there are some kind of surface flames from the sun that start impacting Earth and Earth's magnetic envelope around it. So most of the problems because of solar flare are around navigation, around GPS. So statement 1 is correct, statement 3 is correct, statement 6 is correct, statement 7 is correct. And speaking honestly, many of us, even 4 is correct, yes. The solar flare do impact the auroras, but aurora is not about the communication, but 4 is correct. The confusion that we might have is, one is around the forest fires. To some extent, even I had a belief that solar flares can cause massive forest fires, but that's not so. Lot of
I would like to add in this. What is happening here is, so what is ये तो हमारे कैमरामैन तो हमें मार देगा. Okay, कोई बात नहीं, माफ करें. In when there are 7 such options, we should go by the answer. See, in fact, if you know that option number 2 is wrong, like tsunami could occur at equatorial region, we know that it cannot create tsunami. If you eliminate 2 from the option, you can see in option number A there is 2, option number B there is 2, and option number D there is 2. So you just eliminate 2, then the answer is C automatically. And forest fire unfortunately has gone out of it.
yes.
And one more thing in this, if you see a statement 5, what it says, that forest fire could take place over much of the planet.
Yeah.
That's where it's wrong.
That is why we can eliminate that. No, it's not correct.
And in fact, solar flares have the least relationship with forest fires. There are a lot of researchers on that. Anyways, this question, the answer is C. Elimination.
Yeah.
Yes. So question number 20 is C.
See, just before proceeding to 21, please remember 21 to 30 in B set is 11 to 20 in A series, and in C series it is 81 to 90, and in D series it is 71 to 80. D series is 71 to 80, C series is 81 to 90, and A series it is 11 to 20. So question number 21 over to Manish.
Okay, so before I, start giving explanation to question number 21, one very interesting thing what we found in this year paper, that in some of the questions we can, apply elimination rule and easily can get the right or correct option. But this time in some question, they have framed the question very differently, where there are pairs given, and then you have been asked to identify that how many pairs given are correctly matched. Only one pair, two pairs, three pairs. So there, the difficulty is until and unless you know everything, you will not be able to get the answer. So that you will find in some questions which will follow. So question number 21 is related with polity, constitution, governance. And in this question, 4 statements are given, and you have to judge the correctness of these statements. So the first statement is a factual one, and it's correct that it was the H.N. Sanyal committee report on which Contempt of Court Act 1971 was passed. Question number 2, statement number 2. The Constitution of India empowers Supreme Court and High Court to punish for contempt of themselves. This is again a correct statement. I hope all of you must be aware that under Article 129, Supreme Court is the court of records, whereas under Article 215, all high courts are also the court of records, and those which are court of records have the power to punish for their contempt. Okay, so statement 2 is absolutely correct. The statement 3 is wrong. The Constitution of India defines civil contempt and criminal contempt. Nowhere in the Constitution there is definition for civil contempt and criminal contempt. Rather, it is the Contempt of Court Act of 1971 in which explicitly the two terms have been defined. So statement 3 is wrong. Statement 4, that Parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on the contempt of court. That is the reason why the Parliament passed this Contempt of Court Act 1971. So if you can correlate statement 1 and statement 4, you can judge on your own that statement 4 is correct. And therefore, the answer question is that statement 3 is wrong and rest all other statements are correct. So the answer is B, Bombay, 1, 2 and 4. Next question, question number 22. Now, this is an interesting question. You will find that different institute may give different answer. And why I am saying this, because even among us, initially there was difference of opinion, but later on there was a consensus that what should be the answer for this question. So when it says first statement, that government law officers and legal firms are recognized as advocates. See, in general, legal firms cannot be recognized as advocates. So in the opening part of this sentence itself, mention of legal firms as recognized as advocates make this statement wrong. So there is no need unnecessarily to get into the complicated tail end part of the statement. Okay, so we will judge that the first statement is wrong. Second statement, bar councils have the power to lay down rules relating to legal education and recognition of law colleges. Now, had instead of bar councils, it would have been Bar Council of India, then this statement would have been correct. Since even in the states we have bar councils, okay, they have nothing to do with legal education regulation and recognition of law colleges. So both the statements in this particular questions are incorrect, and therefore the answer is D, delta.
This particular case, the bar councils, had it been Bar Council of India, there would not have any problem. So many people have missed out. Even we people missed out in the beginning. Later on, we realized that it is bar councils and it is not Bar Council of India. So because of that, bar councils, which are present in every state, we cannot, and state bar councils have no role in the legal education and recognition of law colleges. So both the statements are wrong. So neither 1 nor 2. So D should be the answer.
Yes. We will now move to question number 23, again from polity, and this question relates with Constitutional Amendment Bill. 3 statements are given related with Constitutional Amendment Bill. So the first statement that a bill amending the constitution requires a prior recommendation of the President of India. This is wrong. No prior recommendation for introduction of constitution amendment bill is required. Any member can introduce, and recently one member introduced one constitutional amendment bill. That can be the reason why this question is there.
Even private members' bill can be there, or rather, private member also can introduce constitutional amendment.
Any member from any house of the two houses of parliament can introduce the constitution amendment bill. So first statement is wrong. Second statement, when a constitution amendment bill is presented to the President of India, it is obligatory for President of India to give his or her assent. This statement is correct. President has no veto power on constitutional amendment bill. Once it is passed by the parliament, both houses of parliament, it is obligatory, it's mandatory for the president to give his or her assent. And you should know one thing, that if president will try to, hold assent on constitutional amendment bill which is passed separately by two houses of parliament, it means president is opting for a direct confrontation with parliament, and he is exposing himself to the danger of being impeached. Okay, so that is also one thing which you should know. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 3, a constitution amendment bill must be passed by both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha by a special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting. So this is a bill where there is a special requirement that this bill should be passed by both the houses separately, and there can never be deadlock or gridlock during the passage of bill between two houses of parliament, and there is no need for joint sitting. So statement 3 is wrong, and a different kind of a special majority is required, so that is something. So statement 2 and 3 correct. The statement 1 is wrong. Answer for this is B, Bombay.
And in fact, there is no question of deadlock. If the other house rejects it,
it's an end to the
that is the end of the
amendment bill.
So
at that stage only the bill will lapse.
Yeah.
Question number 20. Okay. Consider the following. This is an interesting question. Okay, so the first statement says that the Constitution of India classifies ministers into 4 ranks, that is cabinet minister, minister of a state with independent charge, minister of a state, and deputy minister. This classification is not in the scheme of Constitution. In Constitution, you will find cabinet minister, minister of a state, but there is no mention of minister of a state with independent charge. It has emerged as a arrangement to balance between seniority and competency, and most of the time minister of a state, their constitutional status is of minister of a state, but no cabinet minister is appointed above them, and that is why they have to run the ministry independently, and this is the reason why the word minister of a state independent charge. But if you see oaths which are given in Constitution, there is a different oath for cabinet minister, there is a different oath for minister of state. And constitutional status of minister of state with independent charge is no way different than any other minister of state. So first statement is wrong. Second statement, that total number of ministers in union government, including the prime minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members in the Lok Sabha. This statement is correct. However, this was not in original constitution, but through an amendment in the constitution, an upper cap was prescribed as far as size of council of ministers is concerned, and that upper cap is that it should never exceed 15% of the total strength of the Lok Sabha, including prime minister.
In fact, statement number 1, I just would like to add, most of the places it is mentioned only council of ministers, and only in the 44th Amendment Act we even introduced the term cabinet minister into the constitution. Otherwise, no classification. Everywhere it is mentioned as council of ministers. No classification.
But there is a different oath for cabinet minister and different oath for minister of state. Okay, so on statement 1 incorrect, statement 2 correct. The answer for this question is B, Bombay. Question number 25. Now, this is about exclusive powers of Lok Sabha to ratify the declaration of emergency. Okay, no. Lok Sabha has exclusive power during withdrawal of emergency, not due for ratification of emergency. Now, second statement that to pass a motion of no confidence against Council of Ministers, yes, no confidence motion can only be brought in Lok Sabha against the Council of Ministers, and if no confidence motion is passed, then it brings an end to the existence or life of the entire Council of Ministers, and this is one of the cardinal principles of parliamentary democracy, where Council of Ministers must be collectively responsible towards Lok Sabha. To impeach the President of India, motion is to be passed separately by both the houses of parliament with the special majority, and that special majority is the toughest majority talked under the scheme of Indian Constitution. So the question is about exclusive powers of Lok Sabha. So what I would say that only second statement is what is correct, whereas to ratify declaration of emergency and to impeach the President of India, that will not fall within the ambit of exclusive power of Lok Sabha. So the answer is B, Bombay. 26. Question number 26. Now, with reference to anti-defection law in India, consider the following statement. Two statements are given, and the first says that the law specifies that nominated legislature cannot join any political party within 6 months of being appointed to the House. Rather, other way around. If they have to join, they must join within 6 months. After 6 months, they cannot join. If they join after 6 months, that can attract, anti-defection law and disqualification. So first statement is wrong. Second statement that the law does not provide any time frame within which the presiding officer has to decide a defection case is absolutely correct. So this is, this is up to it is a prerogative of the presiding officer to take up the case for final decision based on, his availability. Okay, so second statement is correct. First is wrong. The answer for this question is B, Bombay, 2 only. Next, question number 27. Now, there are 2 statements given related with Attorney General. Okay, first statement says Attorney General of India and Solicitor General of India are the only officers of government who are allowed to participate in the meetings of Parliament of India. Now, this statement is wrong because of mention of Solicitor General of India within this. Let me put it like this. Article 76 of Indian Constitution talks about Attorney General, and Attorney General is the only person who, even though is not the member of either house of the Parliament, but can participate during the proceedings of both houses of Parliament with right to speak, but no right to vote. Okay, so Solicitor General is appointed by President to assist Attorney General, and in general, they assist Attorney General by appearing for Government of India in important cases where Attorney General for some reason cannot be present. Okay, so this is because of use of Solicitor General of India in this statement makes this statement wrong. Second statement, according to Constitution of India, the Attorney General of India submits his resignation when government which appointed him resigns. Now, this is not mentioned in Constitution, but this is a tradition. And from where we picked this tradition? From British parliamentary system. But in British parliamentary system, the Attorney General is the part of British cabinet. In India, Attorney General, though is not the part of, cabinet, yet on some occasion he behaves like cabinet member. And what he does that whenever there is change of guard at center, Attorney General will also go and resign, because the provision of the Constitution is that Attorney General holds office during the pleasure of the President. Okay, so this is why second statement is wrong, because it says according to Constitution of India. It's not according to Constitution of India. It is based on tradition or practice. So 1 and 2 both wrong. Answer is neither 1 nor 2. That is D, Delta. Question number 28. With reference to writs issued by courts in India, consider the following. So it is about mandamus and quo warranto, the 2 writs out of 5 which can be issued by Supreme Court and High Court under different articles of Indian Constitution. So first says mandamus will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with a public duty. Now this statement is correct because public duty is a mandatory thing for issuing of the writ of mandamus. Mandamus means what? In Hindi, it is known as parmadesh. You are not doing your duty, so somebody's fundamental rights are being violated. Please do your duty the way you are supposed to do. Okay, so that is what is the nature of this writ. So if a company, private organization is not interested with public duty, how can it lie against them? So first statement, absolutely correct. Second statement, mandamus will not lie against a company even though it may be a government company. Now this is wrong. Government company will have the characteristic feature of public authority, and there can be, mandamus writ against them, and that is the reason why statement 2 is wrong. Any public-minded person can be a petitioner to move court to obtain the writ of quo warranto. Quo warranto means when the court will ask the concerned that what is your authority. Okay, so any person can approach Supreme Court and can, ask Supreme Court or High Court that you should ask this public authority that what is his authority with which he or she has done this. So statement, 2 is wrong. Statement 1 and 3 correct. Answer is C. Calcutta 1 and 3 only. Question number 29. Yeah.
So, the question number 29 is about Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. Okay. So, in this question, B is the answer. Only 3 is correct. In fact, it is a private and public hospitals must adopt it. It is not there. Only, which is an M-panel. After
Anshuman Bharat Digital Mission has given a call to private and public hospital to adopt it, but it's not must. So had must not been there, then this would have been correct. Yes. First statement.
So that is correct. First statement is wrong. Then so answer is 29, right? 29 is B. So only 3 is there. As it aims to achieve universal health coverage, every citizen of India should be part of it ultimately. Again, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, there is no specific mention about every citizen of India should be part of it ultimately, because Ayushman Bharat is an idea to help the poor. Not every citizen specifically mentioned about that. Because of these reasons, 1 and 2 cannot be termed as correct. Only 3 statement is correct, so answer should be B. And question number 30 is once again back to quality.
There are, would you just...
30.
Okay. So there are 4 statements in this question related with Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and you have to judge the correctness. Okay. And again, for many months now, we are not seeing a Deputy Speaker in our Lok Sabha, and this is the reason why they have asked a question. You have to understand this, that those constitutional offices which are in news for some or other region, on that they are asking question from polity. And not many articles were published for perhaps for the first time in the history of Parliament. We have seen such a long duration in our Lok Sabha where there is no Deputy Speaker. So what is the first statement? As per rules of procedure and conduct of business in the Lok Sabha, the election of Deputy Speaker shall be held on such date as the Speaker may fix. This is absolutely correct. It is the Speaker of the Lok Sabha who has to fix the date for election of the Deputy Speaker. Then the second statement, there is a mandatory provision that the election of candidate as Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition party or the ruling party. No, there is no mandatory provision. There is a practice that the Speaker is from Treasury and the Deputy Speaker is from opposition. But many a times we have seen the tradition not being followed whenever the relationship between Treasury and opposition was, very hostile.
It is more like a British convention rather than, it is a rule. There is no rule, but now we have no Deputy Speaker only. Forget about the rule or anything. The government is not even willing to have a Deputy Speaker in the first place right now. Anyway,
yes. So the statement 2 is wrong. Statement 3, Deputy Speaker has same power as Speaker when presiding over the sitting of the House, and no appeal lies against his ruling. This statement is absolutely correct. When he is in chair as presiding officer, he has all powers equivalent to Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and whatever ruling is given by him to keep the house in order, that ruling, there cannot be any appeal against that ruling. So statement 3 is absolutely correct. The statement 4, the well-established parliamentary practice regarding the appointment of deputy speaker, that the motion is moved by the speaker, duly seconded by the prime minister. No. Okay. Normally, what we see, that it is prime minister who will move the motion, which is seconded by the leader of opposition. And sometimes we have seen prime minister requesting the leader of opposition in the house to move the motion, which will be seconded by the prime minister. So the speaker has no role as far as moving the motion for appointment of deputy speaker. So statement 4 is wrong. The statement 2 is wrong. The statement 1 and 3 are correct. The answer for this is A.
Now,
Alpha.
in fact, one interesting thing is, even if you don't know 3 and 4, still you can get the answer. If you know question number 1, it's a statement 1 is correct, and if you know 2 is wrong, then we have only 1 and 3 as the option. Okay, 1 is correct, and 2 is wrong. So D and D is eliminated, and then 1 is correct means we have only one option.
So in some of the questions, we found that with 1 or 2 statement correctness, you can directly reach to the correct option. That possibility is there.
So coming to question number 31 to 40 in B series, it is in A series it is 1 to 10, in C series it is 91 to 100, and in D series it is 51 to 60. So D it is 51 to 60, C it is 91 to 100, and A it is 1 to 10. So it's about the economics now. Ajay will be answering more.
Okay, so we have here question number 31. Rapid financing instrument and rapid credit facility. Now you just look at the terms itself, and you will get some logic behind what would be the right answer. The financing instruments, more likely that the answer would be your B or C, because Asian Development Bank and World Bank, if for them these kind of instruments will not be as much used, right? Because they are giving loans and all for development purpose. Out of B and C also, because it is about rapid, means something which is urgent, immediately needed. So it should be some kind of crisis in the economy for which these are given. So the answer is likely to be B, and actually it is B. So by logic also you can solve some of these questions. Moving to question number 32, which is clear from the statement number 2 itself. If you look at the increase in the real effective exchange rate indicates an improvement in trade competitiveness. The very basic concept of real, it tells you that now if it increases, it is going to bring down the trade competitiveness rather than increasing it. So just by looking at statement 2, you can answer this question. Statement 1 and statement 3 is correct. So answer will be C for that. Other two statement, in fact, the third statement, you can understand that there is a kind of a double whammy there, because when the inflation, it is increasing, it is going to increase the need on one side and reduce the rear, and so the divergence is going to increase between the two. So these two statements will be correct. Moving on to the next question. Question number 32, yeah, the answer for 32 is C. Question number 33. Now this is a conceptual question, basic, but let's look into this. See, if the inflation, the first statement, if the inflation is too high, the Reserve Bank of India is likely to buy government securities. Now, when the inflation is high, then there is money supply, it increases, right? So in order to absorb the liquidity from the market, the Reserve Bank of India, it has to put the money in, it has to absorb the money. So obviously what it will do is that it is going to sell the government securities rather than buying the government securities. So through the various types of operations. So first option in this case will not be correct. Second option, if the rupee is rapidly depreciating, then if the rupee is depreciating, it means that the value of rupee is going down with respect to dollar. And dollar's value is going up means that dollar is more in demand. And when the dollar, yeah, that is why, it's just that because this is a conceptual question, so just we get into that. That if you are increasing the demand, more demand of the dollars, so obviously the RBI is going to sell the dollars in the market, right? And similarly, the third one is very clear because more demand for dollar will be there for investment purpose when the interest rates are being lowered. So RBI is going to be induced to buy more dollars. So answer for this will be B. 2 and 3 are correct. Question number 34 is very simple. I'll not get into any explanation here. This is a factual question. Both the statements are correct in this case. It is It is an initiative to support the low-income countries with unsustainable debt. Question number 35. In case of question number 35 also about inflation index bonds which have been often in the news, you see that the third statement, the interest received as well as the capital gains on IIBs are not taxable. That statement itself is not correct. So on that basis itself you get the answer. Answer will be A in this case. First and second statement is correct.
I would like to add, in India nothing is free. Everything is taxed. The moment you say something is not taxable,
it is more likely to be wrong. The statement is likely to be wrong.
Nowadays, even senior citizens are taxed. So for even in whatever concession we are giving to senior citizens are also going right now, even railways and all. So 100% this can be guessed also that it can be likely to be wrong. So anyway, the third statement is wrong.
Question number 36. In this case, the first statement anyhow is wrong. You see that they can sell their own goods in addition. Now you look at a number of examples like Amazon and all. Second statement, degree to which they can own big sellers on their platform is limited. This one is correct. So answer will be B in this case. Question number 30.
First, there was recently an issue related to Amazon.
Yes.
When they started selling their own
goods on and there were controversy generated related to that.
And that is, I think,
that's the reason why
Reliance, right?
They have asked the question. Question number 37 is about the real sector in the economy. So this again is a basic question. If you understand what is real sector in the economy, real sector is all about where real transactions are happening. Real transactions in the economy that indicates where goods and services are produced or it's being transacted. So you see the question number first and second is about the physical goods and services. Third and fourth is about intangible instruments, right? So it's a commercial bank lending money to a trading company or a corporate body. So all such financial intangible transactions, both these statements will not be correct. Answer will be A in this case. First and second statements are correct. Moving to question number 38. Indirect transfers, as it has been in the news, there's mostly related to the foreign companies. So from there you can deduce it to option number B and C. And just if you will even apply a bit of logic, right, what could be indirect transfers and where it will be applied, it shall be a foreign company transferring shares and such shares derive their substantial value assets located in India. So the answer for this will be D. Question number 39. 39 is again related to capital expenditure. Now this is one question where a lot of people have doubt related to the second statement. But let me make this clear that first and foremost, the first statement is correct because when you are taking up new technology, obviously it is going to help you to increase your production for future and make more profit, generate more revenue in future. So this is a kind of a capital expenditure because it is going to be a long-term investment. Second statement, debt financing is considered capital expenditure is fine, which is mostly understood. A lot of people have confusion regarding the equity financing. Now what happens when equity financing is happening? You are bringing the cash and you're giving the equity out. Now where that money is going to be, that itself, the cash itself is a kind of capital, which is you're doing some kind of capital investment there. So the expenditure would be considered as part of capital expenditure only. And therefore only first statement is correct. Answer for 39 would be A. And question number 40 with respect to Indian economy. Now this also is a very easy, simple question. It's household financing. Obviously, see a lot of mobilization of household financing, whether it is through different types of provident fund, EPF, other, it is all channelized by the government. So basically government is borrowing from the people. So it is part of that. And dated security issues issued at market related rates in options from a large, it definitely forms a large component of internal debt. In fact, it's one of the biggest components of internal debt that is there. So in that case, both the statements are correct. Answer for 40 would be C.
Yeah, from question number 41 in our B series, it is 41 to 50 in B series is 21 to 30 in A series, 71 to 80 in C series, and 61 to 70 in D series. So once again, the 41 to 50 in B is 61 to 70 in D, 71 to 80 in C, and 31 to 40. But 21 to 30 in A series. So now in B series it is 41 to 50.
Okay, so question number 41 from environment. Question number 41. Very easy question. Among the following crops, which one is the most important anthropogenic source of both methane and nitrous oxide? The answer is B, rice. I hope you know that during rice cultivation, water logging in the field, and you will find marshy area, swampy area in which we are cultivating rice. So that is one place from where methane will release. And too much nitrogenous fertilizers are used, for rice cultivation. So even there is release of nitrous oxide. So the answer is B, Bombay.
Question number 42. Now there is series of questions in geography. Just to give a comment on my opinion on geography, compared to economy, compared to history questions or even topics of polity, I thought the questions of geography were relatively much more straighter. And if you had some basic insight into the concepts, and the pattern was almost more or less along the lines I've asked earlier, around wetlands, around some crops, this would have been an edge for many of you if you had a basic idea about geography. And that's one reason why we suggest that when you solve the question paper, do not solve the question sequentially, 1 after 2 after 3 after 4. For the first few minutes, if you can scan the paper very quickly, you could have directly come to a geography, and a range of almost 7-8 questions were easily manageable with a bit of maps and some understanding of current affairs related to agriculture. So I think geography questions were relatively straighter here. So question number 42 to start with. System of rice intensification of cultivation, an alternative wetting and drying of rice fields practice, and what does it result in? So system of rice intensification is actually an alternative to the Green Revolution model we followed in the 1960s. This method, SRI, practiced in Madagascar, in China, in Thailand, in Cambodia. The objective was to grow rice, improve productivity without using too much of water. It is a water efficient system. It does not require the flooding of fields like we have in the traditional rice cultivation. So, and even the requirement of seeds is very, very less. Almost 1/10 of the seeds that we need in the traditional transplantation process. Statement 1 is correct. And any field which does not have too much of water, logging, or over irrigation or wetlands will also not have too much of methane emissions. So 1 is correct, 2 is correct, and because less of water usage means there will be less of water pumping from the groundwater or from the canals, so even electricity consumption will be lesser. So question 42, I think, is D, 1, 2, 3. Question 43. Now, I don't think you could have guessed this unless you know this as a part of some current affair development. We have this lake, Fajibin. This is in the western part, southern part of Sahara, and this has been going dry in Mali, yes. Now, one way of eliminating this, if you know a bit of geography, is Lake Victoria is too large and too deep to go dry. Lake Volta and Lake Obuta, these two lakes are dammed on the rivers, and the lakes have been formed. Generally, a lake formed because of damming of a river will dry the last. Whereas the Lake Fajubin, this one was a natural lake and it has dried.
In fact, Volta is the largest man-made lake.
Yes. Because of the dam Okosombo.
Yeah.
Okosombo Dam, one of the big dam of Africa, River Volta.
Yeah.
So that could not have dried.
And Oguta is in Nigeria again.
Nigeria, yes. Oguta is in Nigeria, yes. The Gandikota Canyon of South India. Now this again, I don't think you could have guessed it. This is a fact that you have to know. Question number 44.
Yeah.
44, the answer is Pennar. And I have noticed last couple of years, they have been asking questions on some of the southern rivers. Periyar River, Palar River, Penneru River, Tungabhadra, and Godavari. So I think it will be wise if you can cover the rivers of southern India a bit more detail. But this is called as the Grand Canyon of India.
It is if you cannot go to US to see Grand Canyon, I think we are supposed to go to Gandikota to see this. It's almost like that, it seems. Very interesting, picturesque place. Okay, let us visit as a cheaper version of Grand Canyon of the world. Yes.
Excuse me, sorry. Next is question number 45. This again, I think, was a very straight question. You are supposed to know this much of facts about Indian physiography. Nokrek is in Meghalaya. It's a peak and also an important conservation site, biosphere reserve. Nokrek is the highest of the Garo hills also. It's in Meghalaya, not Sikkim. Yes. After Shillong Peak, Nokrek is among the highest. So it's in Meghalaya. Namcha Barwa is the eastern side, the limit of Himalayas in the east. You should not have got this mistake. And the only option left, Nanda Devi, part of Kumaon. I think a very easy question. 45, it's 2.
So
Question 46.
B is the answer.
B is the answer.
45
yes.
is B. Yeah.
45, D is the answer. 2 only. Question 46. Levant term has been in news because of lot of developments in Lebanon, Syria, Israel. Levant word is a French origin word which means the east. The eastern Mediterranean is called as the Levant. And it includes, I repeat, Syria, Lebanon, Israel. Sometimes even Jordan is referred to part of Levant. And if you know, the city of Beirut is often called as the Paris of the East. So Levant, that way is important.
And in fact, this is where when the ISIS was coming up,
Yes.
in fact, they had this name, Levant, that Islamic State of Levant also, they were talking for some time.
Yes,
And
yes.
this is the most beautiful place in this region where fresh water is there. And you have that river Jordan. And the river Jordan is a beautiful sweet water region, and it is the most sought after, maximum fighting in history if you look.
Because of this river.
Yeah, because of this river, and the fresh water is available here. And it is, and where we have some of the best oranges also. I mean,
Levant oranges.
Yes, Levant.
Jaffa oranges,
Jaffa oranges.
of Israel. In fact, in the Middle East, the Arab world, Levant has the best climate.
Yes.
And that's why historically this has been an area of very old civilization.
And all Abrahamic religion started here.
Yes, from the Levant region. Correct. Yes. Thank you, sir. Question 47, again, not much of discussion. It's a fact you should have known. 47 is
47.
C.
Yeah.
47 is C. Azerbaijan is a Caucasian country. Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, between Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. So if you eliminate Azerbaijan, the answer you have to mark is 3, 4, and 5.
Yes.
Okay. And Afghanistan news, you better know the countries of Central Asia.
Yeah.
Now, question 48 is very interesting because some of us did make a mistake. On the first look, monazite as rare earth is correct. It has thorium is correct. It is occurring in the coastal region is correct. But the trap here is the entire Indian coastal sands of India. Monazite is not found in all the coasts of India. There are some traces in Gujarat and Daman. But Maharashtra and Karnataka almost have no monazite. And
Kannada coast.
yes, almost no monazite. Although they have the other rare earths.
Yes.
They have ilmenite,
Yes.
they have got rutile, but not monazite.
Yeah.
So I think that was the trap. But Gujarat and Daman region have some monazite. The main monazite regions are from Kerala you move eastwards.
Yes.
Okay, so Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha.
Up till Odisha.
Odisha, yes. So that belt has, and Odisha has one of the largest processing center for rare earths also.
And in
So-
fact, even in Jharkhand.
Naturally occurring monazite
In
is
Jharkhand.
also found in some river beds of Jharkhand.
And
Jharkhand, yes.
again, this question is because of the current affairs also a bit. Because a lot of illegal mining in Tamil Nadu is going on. Court cases are going on.
Yes.
High Court, Madras High Court cases are going on. And it is accused that, some of in the name of exporting other rare earths, we are actually illegally, the private firms are exporting monazite also. So that is why it is in news. Otherwise, monazite cannot be exported.
And this is the reason why the fourth statement.
Yes, it is strategic
government
mineral.
bodies only can process and export monazite.
Correct. In fact, me and sir had a good fight to claim this question. I thought it was geography and sir kept saying it's current affairs. So I ultimately managed to con it for myself.
Yes.
So monazite sand, the answer is C, because statement number, the answer is B.
1, 2, and 4.
The answer
Yeah,
is B because
B for
statement number
Bombay.
3 is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, and 4 are correct.
49.
Question 49, again, I think I should not be discussing at all. The longest day of the year, 21st of June, the summer solstice, and I hope all of you know, without GS also, 21st of June is second half of the month. So nothing to discuss here, the state question. Question number 50. Now, wetland question is a recurring question almost in every year.
Yes.
Okay, in fact, some of the videos we shared before the prelims, we have discussed Sastamkota Lake of Tamil Nadu. So wetland,
Kerala.
we have discussed that. We have discussed that in some of the previous lectures. But yes, the answer in this is The Renuka Lake in Himachal Pradesh is correct, and Rudrasagar Lake in Tripura is correct. So only 2 and 3 is correct, and not 1 and 4.
Yeah.
But
Okera
interestingly,
wetland
the
is in Jammu and Kashmir.
Jammu Kashmir, yes,
And Sastham Kota holds a very special distinction of
In
being,
Kerala.
one of the lake in coastal part, which is a freshwater lake.
Yeah.
yes. Unlike Vembanad and unlike Ashtamudi, which are saltwater lagoons,
Yeah.
Sastam Kota Lake has fresh water.
Yes.
So that's an important fact. Thank you, sir. So the answer for this, but yes, this is another one of those question, new form of question, where they ask in terms of 1 pair correct, 2 pairs. So this is something new for all of us. Anyways, the answer is B here. Only 2 of them is correct.
Now, from 51, just to add, 51 to 60 in B series is 91 to 100 in A. And in C series, it is 1 to 10. And in D series, it is 41 to 50. Okay, I am repeating. 41 to 50 in D series. C series is 1 to 10. And A series, it is 91 to 100. So, question number 51, Shabir. Alok, okay. Now, finally, Alok is getting a chance to, participate because
Yes.
history,
Now history starts.
Sir,
Yes.
but sir, our panel is loaded with those geography experts.
No. Now I will not interfere in your answers because I have very least understanding of history right now.
Right, sir. So, in question number 51, they are asking this kind of question. If you are aware, they have asked Dhauli, they have asked Jaugad, they have asked Eragudi. So they have already asked these questions. So this question cannot be considered as a complicated question. Dhauli, of course, in Odisha, and you all know that all these are major rock edict sites related to Ashoka, right? So Dhauli is in Odisha, it is correct. Eragudi is in Andhra Pradesh, Anantapur district, it is correct. Jaugad is also in Odisha, Ganjam district. So Jaugad is in Odisha, and Kalsi is in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. So two pairs, only 2 pairs correct. So this is easy question. We can easily handle it. And they have followed the general pattern. So answer would be B. Answer would be B. Now coming to question number 52. In 52, again they are following the trend, right? Last year also they asked some question related to regional kingdom of early medieval India. So this time also they are continuing with this trend. And we are always highlighting some important rulers, important places related to early medieval period. So see, Nannuk, you can relate with Chandelas. You can relate Jai Sakti also with Chandelas. So Jai Sakti, this pair is not, you can say, properly matched, right? Then the third, Nag Bhatt, you all know, Gurjar Pratihar, it is correctly matched. And Bhoj, you all know, you have one Bhoj Pratihar, you have one Bhoj Parmar, but they are giving Rashtrakoot. So this pair is not correct. So we can go for B again, Bombay. So only 2 pairs matched. Fine. Now coming to question number 53. See, in question number 53 also, I would say that they are following the trend. In main examination also, they have asked this question related to Sangam literature. They had asked questions related to the society, economy of Sangam literature. You all know that the Sangam literature is a Tamil literature, and probably you all know that Etu Toggai, right, Pattu Pattu, Padinen Kilaknakku, Sivag Jintamani, Silva Digaram, Mani Meghalai, all those texts. So they are mentioning about material culture, they are mentioning about their war and love, they are mentioning about their religion, right? But here you will see that statement 1 is saying Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. So this is wrong. Why we should consider statement number B as correct? Because in Tolkappiyam they have mentioned, right, 4, categories, and these 4 categories are considered as the 4 varnas. They are actually related to the varna system. So generally we consider those division of Tolkappiyam as social classification of varna. So in that context, statement B can be considered as the correct statement. So answer of this question would be B. Fine. Then coming to question number 54. This question is, of course, it's a very tough question, very difficult question to handle, factual. So this, you can guess even this question. Why? Because if you have some idea, during Akbar period only, this translation department was introduced, right? So they started translating some popular, Sanskrit book, translating Sanskrit book into Persian. If you have some idea, you have idea about Badawini, you have idea about Faiji. So Yog Vasisth was also translated into Persian by Nijamuddin Panipati, right, during the period of Akbar. Even if you don't know this fact, you can guess Akbar because translation department was introduced during this period. So even this question can be handled.
I could have answered this, sir, by elimination.
Yes.
Aurangzeb is impossible.
Yes.
Humayun, where he survived,
Yes.
he had no time for all cultural activities, and Shah Jahan was busy making Taj Mahal.
Yes, yes.
Only person left who could do this was Akbar.
Yes, yes, sir. Anyone,
I would
anyone.
have got it right.
Yes.
Without knowing history.
Without knowing it.
Yes. And now coming to next question, question number 55. Yes. So in question number 55 is current affairs based question, right? So we had world's second tallest statue, Statue of Equality, right, in Hyderabad, and this was related to Ramanujacharya. And if you have some idea about development of Vedanta, you have one very popular name called Sankaracharya, who is related to Advait. But Ramanujacharya, you all know, he added Visist Advait. So when he added Visist Advait, he started talking about not Gyan Marg, but Bhakti Marg. So when you know that Ramanujacharya is related to Bhakti, you can easily guess the answer. So the answer of this question would be, the best means of salvation was devotion. Fine. So answer of this question would be A. This is current affairs based culture. Fine. So A would be the right answer. Then coming to question number 56. See, this is also current affairs based question. It was in news also. So Prime Minister, when inaugurated this new circuit house, right, near Somnath temple. So this was covered by Indian Express and Hindu. So Somnath temple is one of the Jyotirling shrines. It is correct. Description of Somnath temple was given by Al-Biruni. This is also correct. But the Pran Pratistha, what is called installation of the temple, it was actually done by Rajendra Prasad, not Radha Krishnan. So third would be wrong. So we can go for A. So option A would be the correct option. So 56 A. Now 57.
Yeah, question number 57 is about the role of B cells and T cells in the human body. So answer is D, because it is this is the one. 57. It says that B cells are the type of cell that produce antibodies to fight bacteria and viruses. So it's a straightforward, simple question. If you know something about B cells and T cells, we can easily answer. They protect the body from the disease caused by the pathogens. So D is the answer. So coming to 58, question number 58. Again, answer is D. D for Delhi. Here, they are asking about nanoparticles. The first statement says, other than those made by humans, nanoparticles do not exist in nature. That is not correct. In fact, nanoparticles are existing in nature because of tides, maybe, even volcanic activity. There are naturally occurring nanoparticles also. So, the first statement is wrong. Second statement, nanoparticles have some metallic oxides that are used in the manufacture some cosmetics. Yes, nanoparticles are elaborately used. Even in toothpaste, it is used. So, nanoparticles can be there in, in the cosmetics. And also, nanoparticles have some commercial products which enter the environment are unsafe for humans. It's 100% correct. In fact, there is a nanoparticle pollution. It's a big concern. It's a big hazard today. And so much of discussion and debate is going on. So 2 and 3 are correct. So answer should be D here. First statement saying that it is not formed, only by humans, not found in nature is wrong. So 2 and 3 are correct. So answer should be D. Coming to 59. Again, this can be some idea of DNA barcoding. If you have, you can easily manage. Distinguish among species that look alike. Identify undesirable animals or plant material in processed foods. This can be done, but DNA barcoding cannot be used for assessing the age of the plant or an animal. So 2 and 3 are correct. So answer should be D again in question number 59. Question number 60 about acid rain. Manish, you want to say? Yeah. It is very easy. That is why I want you to say. Okay. B is the answer.
The answer is then you know very well that when there is excessively high content of nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide in the rain, that makes the precipitation acidic with pH value 5.6 and below. Then it falls in the category of
acid rain. So the answer for this would be B, 2 and 4, nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide. You can eliminate very easily. Carbon monoxide and ozone can be eliminated very easily. Yeah. So the answer will be B.
Okay, if you eliminate 1 and 2,
No. 1 and 3.
1 and
Answer
3.
will be 2 and 4,
Yeah.
Bombay.
Yeah. So,
Excess of which?
yeah, coming from question number 61 again. 61, please remember, in 61 in B, and it is in A series it is 81 to 90, and C series it is 11 to 20, and D series is 21 to 30. So D series 21 to 30, C series 11 to 20, and A series is 81 to 90. So question number 61. High clouds.
This is, I don't think this was safest to leave this question because the role of clouds in global warming has been of concern and debate. What do clouds do? Without discussing too much, the statements actually have been reversed. That's why both the statements are wrong. High clouds actually result in warming of the earth because high clouds allow for radiations to enter. High clouds allow the radiations to get transmitted. Whereas low cloud, on the other hand, okay, they are responsible for cooling of the earth because low clouds have higher albedos. The statement has been reversed. The answer is D, neither 1 nor 2.
Yeah. Question number 62 about Bidi Bidi. It's the largest refugee settlement in northwestern Uganda. Question number 62. Yeah. The 62 is about Bidi Bidi. It's the largest refugee settlement not in northwest Kenya. It is in Uganda, and it is a conflict zone in this region because of the Sudan, the South Sudan issue and all. So first statement is wrong. Second statement, some people who fled from South Sudan civil war live in Bidi Bidi. Yes. In fact, as I told you, this is the largest refugee settlement anywhere in the world for the last couple of years because of the civil war in Sudan and South Sudan region. So second statement is correct. And the third statement, some people who fled from civil war in Somalia live in the Dadaab refugee complex in Kenya. That is correct. So 2 and 3 are correct. So in answer 62, answer is C. 2 and 3 are correct. Similarly, question number 63, it is question about the Turkic States. These Turkic States were formed in 2009 where Turkic language is being used. Okay, so in that, if you look that way, Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan will come into picture. These two are correct. In fact, in other countries which are speaking the Turkic language or the Turkic state, they're Turkey, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. So Romania and Croatia. And, in fact, you can also apply a bit of this thing. So Armenian language is, different from, that is why they have a lot of fight between Armenia and Azerbaijan also. So Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, 2 and 5 are here, and plus Turkey, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan would have been there. So answer should be C. 63, answer is C. Question number 64 about the solar park, Manish.
Yes, so this is a factual question and you can even say that it is from current affairs. So it says, first statement says Gujarat has the largest solar park in India. This statement is wrong. The largest solar park of the country is Bhatla, and that Bhatla is in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. So Rajasthan is the Indian state which has got the largest solar park, not Gujarat. So first statement wrong. Second says Kerala has fully solar powered international airport. Absolutely correct. That is Kochi International, right? Kochi International Airport.
This is in fact world's first.
Yeah, it's world's first
Fully
solar powered international airport. So that is there. Third statement says Goa has the largest floating solar photovoltaic project in India. Now, this statement is wrong. The largest solar photovoltaic project is in Andhra Pradesh. It is in Simhadri. NTPC is owning it. Okay, so Andhra Pradesh has the largest solar photovoltaic project. So 1 and 3 are wrong. 2 correct. So answer is B, Bombay.
65.
Question 65 from Unclos. I think most of us know some of the facts that territorial limit is still 12 nautical miles from the baseline. Statement 1 is correct. Concept of innocent passage, where all vessels, military and also commercial freight vessels are allowed irrespective of whether the country is landlocked or has a coast or not, is open for navigation, okay, for all. Now, the statement number 3 was a bit of a bother, because the UNCLOS 83 agreement says that EEZ is up to 2 nautical miles, but it does allow for the country to extend to 150 nautical miles in terms of resources. So countries that have a very broad continental shelf are given additional 150 nautical miles, but the catch here is the additional 150 nautical miles is not called as EEZ. The countries have rights to use the resources, but technically the additional 150 nautical miles is not called as the EEZ. So the statement 3 is also correct.
In fact, jurisdiction-wise, EEZ is up to 200 nautical miles. But if a littoral state has very broad continental shelf, and continental shelf not geographically.
Yes, that's very important. Yes.
So then it can have rights for additional 150 nautical miles to exploit resources in the seabed and in the waters.
Yes.
But it will not be treated as EEZ.
It will not be treated. Jurisdiction-wise, it's only up till 200 nautical miles. But rights can be extended beyond 200 nautical miles only in case there is very broad continental shelf along the littoral state.
And just to add one fact, the definition of continental shelf under UNCLOS is different from what we know in geology or geography. In UNCLOS, the continental shelf includes the continental slope and continental rise also, which technically or geologically is not the shelf.
In fact, geologically, we say 185 meters.
Yes.
Up to 185 meters is continental shelf, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyway,
answer, all the 3 statements are correct.
Correct. D is the answer. D is the answer.
question number 66 about the Senkaku Islands. That is a dispute between China and Japan. It can be termed as a current affairs question. Answer is B. Because, this is something which is fighting, or there is a fight between, China and Japan is holding it, and China is claiming, and this is something, of course, last couple of years I did not see much in news, but it is something which is an ongoing dispute. As long as China and Japan are there, this dispute also will be there. So, anytime it can come up. So, the Senkaku Islands, B is the answer. 66 is B. And coming to 67 question, again, which are the reasons being in news recently. So, in fact, 2, 3 and 4, 3 pairs are in news. Tunisia, suspension of the parliament by the president, that is true. Lebanon, severe and prolonged economic depression is going on, that is true. One of the cheapest, their currency has been so devalued right now. Some people were saying that if you want to travel to some foreign country, Lebanon is the right place to go, because, $1 can give, I think, around, more than 1,000 Lebanese currency. And so, it's very, very cheap, damn cheap. I was watching a video also recently. If you have, Indian rupee 100 also, 500 means you can have a lavish one day in Lebanon, it seems. Anyway.
The only problem is you do not can come back.
Yeah. So that could be the reason, but otherwise, Lebanon, good. Guinea again. Guinea is a country where suspension of constitution and the government by military has happened last year, 2021. So these 3. Chad, setting up a permanent military base in China, nothing of that would have happened till now. That is not in news. So 2, 3 and 4 are correct. So 3 pairs. So C is the answer in this particular case. And then question number 68. Again, region often mentioned in news. Anatolia is in Turkey. Amhara is in Ethiopia.
both are 100% correct. But Cabo Delgado, this is in Mozambique. It is not in Spain. And Catalonia is in Spain, but not in Italy. So 3 and 4 are wrong. Only 2 pairs are correct. So answer is B for Bombay in a 68 question.
So
And
now we got a new format of MCQ.
Yeah.
That how many pairs given are correctly
So
matched.
we'll have to create new questions now for the coming years. Yeah, question number 69, Manish, I think you will have to answer that. Yeah, about the wildlife, 69.
Yeah, with reference to Indian laws about wildlife protection, consider the following statement. So, wild animals are sole property of the government. Now, this statement is correct based on recent judgment given by Mumbai High Court. Okay, so precisely this was the statement which was in the judgment. So, the first statement is correct. Second statement, when a wild animal is declared protected, such animal is entitled for equal protection whether it is found in protected area or outside. Now, first is correct. Second and third are also in some way correct, but we have to choose the best answer. So see, when a wild animal is declared protected, such animal is entitled for equal protection whether it is found in protected area or outside. I was reading one article in Hindu where this statement is given that they are entitled for equal protection whether it is found in protected area or outside. However, if you go by logic, there is varying degree of protection even within protected area and definitely between protected area and outside area. But even then, we will consider this statement to be correct because this statement finds explicit mention in one of the articles published in the Hindu newspaper. So on that basis, we can judge it correct. Okay.
In fact, Manish, in this question, 1, 2, 3, all the 3 are correct is not there. So even 3 is to some extent is correct because apprehension
of a protected wild animal becoming a danger to human life is sufficient ground for its capture or killing. Okay, so
but again, in this also, suppose a tiger is is a potential danger to human life, but if it is not killed anybody, may not be sufficient alone. But generally, yes, it can be captured or killing. Killing may not be there, but it definitely should be captured if it is found outside. But that way, if you look, it is also correct.
Means if we give very liberal interpretation to what is mentioned in statement 2, then it appears to be wrong. And if we give liberal interpretation to 3, it appears to be correct. But we have to go by, A, 1 and 2. Based on the statement in Hindu article, we will consider statement 2 correct. And we cannot give liberal interpretation to 3 because we don't have option with all 3 statements are correct. So answer from our side will be A, 1 and 2.
In fact, had there been 1, 2, and 3, we would have gone for 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
So, but unfortunately or fortunately, that is not there. So 1 and 2, A is the answer. So that is about 69. Question number 70. It is a straightforward question. Which organism is known as cultivator of fungi? And in fact, so many articles. Of course, you could not have been guessing this kind of a question. After seeing the question, if you search in the internet, you will find so many articles about that. So A is the answer, and is the answer here, which are known as cultivators of fungi. So question number 71 to 80, it is in A series, it is 61 to 70, and in C series, it is 31 to 40, and in D series, it is 11 to 20. So D, it is 11 to 20, C, it is 31 to 40, and in A, it is 61 to 70. So question number, in our case, 71 to 80. Yeah, 71 is economics. So, again, Ajay.
Question number 1 talks about tight monetary policy of the Federal Reserve, right? Tight monetary policy is something where the government is trying to suppress expenditure, so the growth will get affected. And because of that, obviously, it will not be a good scenario for the capital to sustain it. There will be flight of capital.
In fact, Ajay, in this case, if there is a tight monetary policy in US, means they will increase the interest rates, and from countries like India, it will fly. Okay, the capital flight will be there.
Yes. So the first statement and the second statement is also correct, because again the situation that arises which makes it further more adverse for those firms because of the increase in the interest cost. So first and second statement is correct, and third one, evaluation of domestic currency, it will rather increase the currency risk rather than decreasing. So the answer will be A for this.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Question 1 and 2, answer is A. The next question is related to geography.
Yeah, this is about the tea producing states. And again, in this particular question, we have to be very careful in generally known as tea producing states. If you look at the general, 98% of the tea being produced from 4 states, it is Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So if you go by that logic, only Kerala is mentioned. But definitely Himachal and Tripura are also seen as the top 10 states, the top 10 tea producing states. So if you go by this logic, some of you may say even in Andhra Pradesh some tea is produced, there are no doubt regarding this. But if you go by the question where generally known as tea producing state, then I think we will go for C as the answer. Only 3 states. Andhra we will not.
Yeah. So if we go by the data published by Tea Board of India, then Andhra Pradesh is not there in top 10 tea producing states in India for the year 2020. Okay. So other than the 4 states which sir said, we are producing tea in some northeastern states like Tripura, Manipur, Nagaland as well. And we are producing some tea in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Okay. So these are the states where we are producing, but primarily we are producing tea in Assam and West Bengal, and even in West Bengal, Darjeeling area.
Then Tamil Nadu and Kerala.
Yeah. So in this, we will go for only
3 states.
3 states. That is C.
C. Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, next question
73.
is question number 73. These are few question in sequence are very easy, factual questions. The first statement, obviously, credit rating agency is regulated by SEBI and not by RBI. The other 2 statements are correct. The answer will be B for this, 2 and 3. Question number 74, again, you see that whatever has been happening of late also with respect to appointment of the chairman of Bank Board Bureau. Like the Rai was also appointed as chairman of Bank Board Bureau, and this was a lot of controversy was there. So definitely the first option is not correct. Second and third option are definitely the functions of the Bank's Board Bureau. So the answer for this will be D, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Question number 75. Now you can again apply some logic here. Convertible bonds. So there is an option when you are exchanging the bond for equity, that obviously on one way your interests are going to be better served. So on the other hand, it needs to be compensated. So it's going to pay you a lower rate of interest.
Yeah.
And the second option is also correct. The option of convert, it is to convert the bond into equity is definitely an indexation to rising consumer prices is also taken into consideration. So answer for 75 is C, both 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Question number
76. I can answer that because Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, this is a bank which is initiated by China and India. So we are definitely one of the founder members of it. But missile technology control regime, we were not there. But after normalizing our relationship with the US and the Western world, we finally managed to become a member of the MTCR also. And Shanghai Cooperation Organization, we were fighting, or rather we were confused whether to join or not. Finally in 2017 we entered along with Pakistan. So all the 3 organizations, India is a member right now. So all the D should be the answer. D for Delhi. So 1, 2, 3. All the 3 India is a member. Now coming to the next question about Vietnam. Interesting question. See, that is why we need to have some general idea about the countries also. Vietnam is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, no doubt. But Vietnam is led by a multi-party political system is entirely wrong. In fact, it is a single party. It is a vestige of Communist Party is still there, and Vietnam is led by a single party. So option 2 is wrong. Then Vietnam's economic growth is linked to its integration with global supply chains and focus on export, 100% correct. For a long time, Vietnam's low labor costs and stable exchange rates have attracted global manufacturers. That is also correct. But and then Vietnam has the most productive e-service sector in the Indo-Pacific region. So that may not be. So question number, this is 77, right?
Yes.
Question number 77. C is the answer. So 1, 3 and 4 is the answer. In fact, 2 and 5 are not correct. The most productive e-service sector and all, it is very difficult to say. It is not there. 1, 3 and 4 is the right. And again, the options are given such a way that, if 4 and 5, even if you say 5 is there, no option for that. So that way we are saved from this. So C is the answer. And then price 78. Yeah.
Very evident. I think this was very clear. The answer will be for this.
Yeah. Reserve Bank of India.
Question.
Yeah.
I think that's all with respect to economics.
Yeah. This
79 is science.
Yeah, non-fungible tokens, NFTs. So in fact, question number 79, A is the answer. 1 and 2 are correct. In fact, the only problem in this kind of this third statement is they can be traded. This NFTs can be traded, no doubt regarding this, but not at equivalency. It can be traded not at equivalency. But here the statement says they can be traded or exchanged at equivalency, and therefore can be used as a medium of commercial transaction. In fact, and this is the most fundamental difference between the other blockchains and this one. This is the NFT and the Bitcoin. The main difference is NFT cannot be traded at equivalency, whereas Bitcoins can be traded at equivalency. So 1 and 2 are correct, 3 is wrong. So answer is A. 79 answer is A. And 80 is a geography question.
80, Ghatprabha is in Karnataka, not Telangana.
Yeah.
Gandhi Sagar is right. It is in Madhya Pradesh. Indira Sagar again is in Madhya Pradesh, part of the Narmada project, not Andhra Pradesh. And Maithon Dam, one of the 4 large dams under Damodar Valley Corporation. So Maithon on the Damodar system in Jharkhand. I think this is an easy question, which most of them would have got wrong, because this question is asking which is not correctly matched. Because all the other questions have been around which have been correctly matched. The answer is C. Only 3 pairs are not correct. But I'm not surprised if people would have marked A. Okay, only 1 pair is.
Yeah, even while marking, I also marked wrong.
So answer is C. 80 is C, only 3 pairs are incorrect.
Yeah, coming to 81 to 90 in our B series. In A series, it is 51 to 60. And in C series, it is 41 to 50. And in D series, it is 31 to 40. So 81 to 90 in B series is 31 to 40 in D, 41 to 50 in C, 51 to 60 in A. So question number 81. And Government of India Act. You can answer that.
Yeah, Manish sir can also do this, but it's a easy question. I can also claim, and see the way they placed it. They are also suggesting that it is history.
Yeah. Along with history.
Yes. So this is a very simple question, but you have to apply, because see, this was the reason for non-cooperation movement, the division between reserved and transferred subject. And as they were not satisfied with this division, it led to reaction, and this reaction paved the way for non-cooperation movement. And only thing here you can concentrate is local self-government. So local self-government was of course the part of transferred subject, but what you can do without finance, what you can do without administration of justice or police. So they were actually keeping the reserved subject, right? It as a reserved subject. So answer of this question would be C, as they're asking which of the following were treated as reserved subject. It would be 1, 3 and 4. So C would be the right answer.
And if we go by the code given below, then it is making the task easier, because law and justice definitely they will be keeping in the reserved list. They will not transfer. Police anyway.
There was some confusion between local self-government and land revenue, but there was no such option as such. So that is what very precisely we can make out, that the 3 were in the reserved list and 1 local self-government was in the transferred list.
Fine. So next question. Question number 82.
Yeah.
In medieval India, the term phanam. See, this is a tough question, but they are asking some complicated, terms related to ancient and medieval India. And this term phanam is very popular term during the South India, the Chola period. So the phanam the meaning is coins, silver or gold coins. So phanam, answer would be coins. So B would be the right answer. Then next question, question number 83. In question number 83, consider the following freedom fighters. See, all these freedom fighters, they all are revolutionaries, but they are asking actively associated with the Gadar party. You all know Gadar party was formed by Lala Hardayal, 1913. So those people who were living in India, but revolutionaries, they were not associated with Gadar party. But those who were living outside, they were associated with Gadar party, right? So you have a list, right? Those people related to Gadar party, and here Ras Bihari Bose, right, was a key member, right, associated with Gadar party. So we can go for D, 3 only. So answer would be D, 3 only. Now coming to question number 84. In question number 84 also, yes, Manish sir, it is also polity. With reference to the proposal of Cripps mission, as you all know, again, as the defects of 1919 Act was the reason for non-cooperation movement, the defects of Cripps mission was the reason for Quit India movement.
Yes.
So they were not satisfied with this Cripps mission.
Yes.
Why they were not satisfied with the Cripps mission? Second World War was going on. And when the Second World War was going on, we were demanding some formula, some gift. But they were not ready to give any gift. They were repeating the same thing which they offered, what we call August offer. They were repeating the same thing. See, Constituent Assembly, right here is the first, statement also you can see.
August offer, Britishers accepted the demand for Constituent Assembly indirectly.
Yes.
And in Cripps' proposal, they accepted the demand directly, where they talked about that how it
Yes.
will be
So
constituted.
they accepted, of course there was
But
one
in
more
this
step.
question, the catch is some of them may get confused with Cabinet Mission Plan
Yes, yes,
while reading the first statement.
yes.
So
So
it is as per Cripps' proposal.
yes. And second statement, what we popularly call in history provincial option. Actually, this statement was for Jinnah.
Yeah.
This statement was to divide the politics.
Yes.
So this is popularly called provincial option. So this was given just to convince Jinnah that we are with you, we can give you Pakistan.
So
Right?
the first statement is wrong
Yes,
because
wrong.
it says that Constituent Assembly would have members nominated
Nominated.
by Provincial Assembly as well as Princely State.
Yes.
No, even in Cripps mission, it was that members will be elected from provincial assemblies
Yes, yes.
indirectly.
Yes, yes.
And princes will nominate. So first statement is wrong.
And the second statement we can consider correct.
Correct,
right? Because they were allowed to continue with their own constitution.
there was a provision that if you don't want, then you will have to sign a separate treaty regarding your future with Britishers, and you can think of a new constitution for yourself.
And this second statement, why we generally remember, I told that, it was related to what we call separation, partition.
Yes. So second is
Second
correct.
is wrong. Second,
No,
is correct. And first
is wrong.
So we can go for
D.
D, 2 on.
Right.
Then question number 85. This question is, of course, slightly typical, but they are asking now some text, Buddhist text, Jaina text, and the other text, Sangam text, they are asking. Those who have some background of history, they must be familiar with Parisist Parvan and Trisasti Salakha Purusa. So when you are familiar with Parisist Parvan and Trisasti Salakha Purusa, you can easily guess that these two are related to Jaina. So 2 and 4, these are Jaina text, and 1 and 3, these are Buddhist text. So we can go for, in 85, we can go for B, 2 and 4, these are, right, Jaina text. And Parisist Parvan and Trisasti Salakha Purusa, right, they are very popular. You must be knowing about Hemchand. So these two are very popular text, Jaina text. So answer would be B. Then question number 86. In question number 86, again they are asking question related to historical person. See, this question is again complicated because these are not very popular names, popular historical person. Aryadev, right, of course, was a Buddhist scholar. He was a student of Nagarjun. If you Remember, even Mahayanism was also divided. So Aryadev was related to one group of Mahayanism. So Aryadev was not a Jaina scholar, he was a Buddhist scholar. So this, pair is not correct. Then Dignag, of course, was the Buddhist scholar, and he was related to logic, what is called Hetuva, Dignag. And the Nath Muni, and he is popularly called Sri Rangnath Muni, and he was a Vaisnava scholar. So 2 and 3 correctly matched. So we can go for option C, only 2 pairs.
87. In history and geography, this format of question is
More, yes. Now, see, coming to question number 87. This question you can think as a tough question, but believe me, again, this area is very popular in general studies. Last year, sir, they asked a question regarding Mongol invasion. Last year also, during Iltutmish period, there was an invasion of Changiz Khan. So when during Iltutmish period, there was an invasion of Changiz Khan, first statement would be wrong.
so Mongol invasion and Ashoka rock edicts.
These are popular areas. Yes, popular areas. Yes. So the first Mongol invasion of India happened during the reign of Jalaluddin Khilji. You can easily say no. And Mongol invasion was always a real problem for Sultanate. It was actually one of the reasons for the downfall of Sultanate. Right? And the first invasion Mongol was Changiz invasion, Changiz Khan. And the last invasion was Taimur's invasion, Taimur Lung's invasion. So first Mongol invasion of India happened during Jalaluddin Khalji, wrong. During the reign of Alauddin Khalji, one Mongol assault marched up to Delhi. This information is not very popular, but there was a man called Kutulug Khwaja. He invaded and he besieged the city. So this statement is correct. Then Muhammad bin Tughlaq temporarily lost portion of northwest. No. So there was no loss of any portion during Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So third statement is also wrong. So only 2. Second statement, is correct. So we can go for B, 2 only. Fine. So again, we can go for next question.
88.
Question number 88. See this question, anyone can question that why they are asking this kind of question. This fact is mentioned in V.D. Mahajan, and V.D. Mahajan is a standard text for history optional, right? So those who have some idea about V.D. Mahajan book, they can easily guess that answer would be Sayyid. Sayyids were called Kuladara, right? Those who were actually using this kind of cap. This is very easy who are familiar with V.D. Mahajan, but I honestly believe that for general studies, we cannot recommend, sir, V.D. Mahajan.
Yes.
Right? So probably for us, it is easy, but it is not very easy. And
it is to leave such questions.
Yes. And of course, we have some term.
The main crime is not to know. The crime is to guess and mark the wrong one.
Yes.
When the questions are difficult.
Yes.
They have left it.
And here there will be some confusion, sir, because there is a painting tradition also in India called Kulahdar tradition, Chaura Panchasika tradition. So those who have good command over culture, they can mark a Persian calligraphist, but that would not be right answer. Right.
I would teach students to consider history optional now.
Yes, sir.
The trend that we have, and rank 1 is history.
So
I think history should be seriously considered.
Yes.
Okay, another Kuladara is coming next year.
Yes. So
V.D. Mahajan is on.
So this is the beauty of ALS. A geography optional teacher is recommending history optional. So this kind of atmosphere we have here.
We noticed it.
89.
89 question number 89. Again, this question is statement 89, question number 89, yes. This question is statement number 1 is very difficult to handle. See, we are considering it as correct, but it can be wrong. It is not mentioned that the land was granted by Gajapati ruler. And as a student of history, I can tell you that Gajapati ruler were not present that time, right? So the Dutch established their factories in Odisha, in the east coast, but it was land granted by Gajapati ruler. It can be wrong, but we are generally considering it as a correct. Second, you can easily understand that it is, the second statement is correct, because Albuquerque captured Goa from Bijapur Sultanate in 1510. It is very simple. Then the English East India Company established a factory at Madras. Yes, this is also correct. They were granted by, this land was granted by Nayakas. And you all know that the Nayakas, they were the representative of the Vijayanagar Empire. So the second and third, these are totally correct. One can be wrong. If you have marked only 2 and 3, you can believe that you can also be correct, but we are going for, yes, we are going for D, 1, right, right, we are going for 2 and 3, correct statement.
Then D.
2 and 3. So, statement
89 is, answer is D. D for
answer is D. We are going for D, but you can go for,
Again, you show the question.
No. 89 we are going for D.
yes,
That means all the three are correct.
No, 1 and 3.
they have, sir, actually, wrongly, presented it.
Yeah,
There is an
They
typing error in the question
There-
which we are showing on screen.
One,
D is
D
1,
is
2 and 3 on.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 are correct.
So, Alok, from your side, answer is D. 1,
Yes,
2 and
answer
3.
is D. We are
All
giving
3 are correct.
1, 2 and 3, but I am giving you a hope that even if you have marked 2 and 3, you can be correct, because first statement, technically, Gajapati ruler, we have not seen in our textbook, right? So if you have marked 2 and 3 also, don't think that you are wrong. Fine. So coming to next question, 90, question number 90. Can you show?
Question number
Yes,
90.
Yes. According to Kautilya's Arthashastra, see, this question again is a complicated question, but you know that Kautilya Arthashastra talked about different kind of slaves. Megasthenes as a source rejected slavery system in India, but Kautilya's Arthashastra, right, Kautilya's Arthashastra gave, mentioned a list of 9 kind of slave. Suppose first a person could be a slave as a result of a judicial punishment. A word is mentioned in Kautilya's Arthashastra, Dand Pranit. So this is correct. Second, if a female slave bore her master a son, she was legally free. So the term for this is Grihijat. So there are many terms. There are 9 terms mentioned for it. So we can go for again D, 1, 2 and 3. Third statement, again there is slight, confusion, but we are going for 1, 2 and 3. So for me, answer should be D, 1, 2 and 3. This is,
No, but we have given us A. 1 and 2 only. D we not
yes.
give.
So we are giving 1 and 2 only, but as I said, 1 and 2, and if they are mentioning, they have, right,
See,
mentioned-
actually, in 89 and 90, there are confusion. I mean, different experts will say different things. So anyway, you can also put it. I mean, these 2 questions as a question mark with a doubt. In your
Yes,
mind.
yes.
So even though, in 89 we are given D as the answer, and 90 we are given A as the answer, but it could be different also because of the problem in one of these statements. Okay. So I think 90 we are going for A, but according to Alok, it can be even all the 3 also.
Yes, all the 3 also.
So it can never be very confidently said that what we are saying is correct in these 2 questions. Anyway, coming to question number 91 to 100 in B series. In A series it will be 71 to 80. In C series it is 21 to 30, and in D series 1 to 10. So D it is 1 to 10, C it is 21 to 30, and A it is 71 to 80. Okay, so question number 91. It is about the compiling information on industrial dispute, closure, retrenchment, layoff in factories, employing workers. This data is compiled by Labor Bureau. So 91 answer is C. So straight away there is no confusion. It's a straightforward factual question. It is compiled by Labor Bureau. So answer is C. Question number 92 about the Coal Controllers Organization. That is question number 92, and the answer is A. That is 1, 2 and 3, in which the 4th statement is not considered to be correct. It says it ensures that coal mining companies deliver the coal to end users in the prescribed time. In fact, one of the biggest problem in our country right now, as you know very well, is coal mining is taking place. It is not reaching the end user on time. That is, there is a power shortage discussion also going on. So, Coal Controllers Organization has no role in ensuring the coal being transported and reaching the end user. So, 4th statement is wrong, and
It has role in end user, but whether in prescribed time or not.
prescribed time is not mentioned at all. So 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So here it is 92. It is A is the answer. Question number 93. It's a very interesting question about the fifth schedule of the Indian Constitution, and A is the answer. In fact, we have to eliminate. In fact, it says it prevents the transfer of land of tribal people to non-tribal people. Yes, very clearly mentioned. Governor has a role to play in this, and once it's only one of them, so that's very clear. Create local self-governing body. No, that is not mentioned in fifth schedule. Convert area in the union territory. Never. And D, the state having such areas would be declared special category state. No. No mention about that. So A is the most appropriate answer in this 93. And question number 94, it is about Indian Sanitation Coalition. Is a platform, but this platform is started by FICCI. It is not funded by Government of India or World Health Organization. It is a mostly private company. Even government is also participating, but it was initiated by FICCI. So the first statement is wrong. Second is the National Institute of Urban Affairs is an apex body of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. That is correct. So 94 is B. That second statement is correct. First statement is wrong. Indian Sanitation Coalition is it is a coalition started as a platform started by FICCI. So first is wrong. Second is correct. So answer is B. Question number 95. Again a straightforward factual question. Environment Protection Act 1986 created Central Groundwater Authority. C is the answer.
In Central Groundwater Authority Act, means in this act, section 3, subclause 3 talks about this, Central Groundwater Authority, and its very important role to regulate and control development of and management of groundwater resources in the country. So a straightforward question. If you know the provision of Environment Protection Act, then you can mark.
So that is 95C. Coming to 96. United Nations Credentials Committee. Three options
are in this question.
Yeah. So 96A is the answer. Only 3 is correct because the first statement says it's a committee.
First statement is fundamentally wrong, that it is a committee set up by UN Security Council and works under its supervision. No, it's a committee which is set up by United Nations General Assembly, and each year before General Assembly meeting, this committee is constituted by the President with 9 members. Okay. Second statement, we have not been able to find when traditionally their meeting is, but at one place we found that there is a mention that their meeting is in November, and then they submit the report to General Assembly in December. Generally, they meet in November and submits report in December. So we are now assuming that the statement 2 is wrong. So 1 is wrong, now 2 is wrong, and third is what is the mandate of this committee, that they have to assess the credentials of UN members before submitting the report to General Assembly for approval. So the answer will be A, 3 only.
Yeah. Question number 97. It is about the Polar Code. So it is a straightforward question. Again, if you know, you can easily answer. It's an international code of safety for ships operating in polar waters. I think it was signed in 2017. So out of the 4, straightforward, simple. But if you know, it's a factual one. If you don't know, nothing can be done. So it is about shipping in polar waters. So in 2017, so A is the answer. Coming to 98, it's about the UN General Assembly. And in this 98 question, answer is D, 1, 2, 3. All the 3 statements are correct. It's a General Assembly can grant observer status to non-members. Yes, there are so many observers. Even Palestine is a non-member. Vatican is a non-member as an observer status. Then intergovernmental organizations can seek observer status, like European Union. Intergovernmental organization, yes, they are doing. And many other UN bodies are having observer status there. And permanent observers in the UN General Assembly can maintain mission at the UN head. Yes, all the 3 statements are correct. So answer is D. Coming to T board in India.
Now it's a thematic repeat.
Yeah. So already T was asked, again
No,
T.
even earlier they have asked question on T board as well.
Yes.
Twice or thrice they have asked. Yes.
I think
Silk board, tea board, coffee board, they have rubber board, they have asked question.
But this year 3 questions on tea. So somebody is a tea drinker, is an addict to tea, is part of the question tea.
So in this question, there are some statements which are there. So tea board is a statutory body. This statement is absolutely correct, that it is a statutory body and it has been created through Tea Act of 1953. Second statement says that it's a regulatory body attached to Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Now, most of you who don't know this may mark this statement correct, but it is not attached to Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers, but it is attached to Ministry of Commerce. So the second statement is wrong. The tea board's head office is situated in Bangalore. Now this is wrong. Tea board's head office is situated in Kolkata, not in Bangalore, and they have two overseas offices which are at Dubai and Moscow. Okay, so statement 1 and 4 correct, statement 2 and 3 wrong. The answer for this question is D, 1 and 4.
Yeah. Finally, in question number 100, it's about greenwashing. And as we know, again, is a straightforward answer. Factual one. This term is used when we are creating false impression. A is the answer. Conveying a false impression that companies' products are eco-friendly and environmentally sound. It is like many of our programs and
promotion of perception that organizations' products are eco-friendly.
I say, this is like a coaching institutes claiming that all ranks are from our institute. Finally, if you add all the ranks put together, the rank claimed by the institute, at least 10,000 ranks are there in India.
Or all questions are from our notes.
All questions are from our notes. All ranks are from the institute. So you just add the top 10 institutes, I think it will cross 3,000 or 4,000 ranks. Anyway, so 100 answer is A. And finally, I would like to, according to our classification, which we have all agreed, it's one of the most, I will say, balanced paper as far as the subject matter asked is concerned. See, we have geography around 14 questions, history 14 questions, science 14 questions, economics 15 questions, polity maybe 12, environment around 10, current affairs, even pure current affairs, if you say it is 10, international relations, IR around 7, general knowledge maybe 4. Of course, this people, depending upon their vested interest, they will say this is my area, their area, like even Alok.
In economics and science, what we are finding, greater overlapping with current affairs is what we have found. So if we don't go for watertight compartments, then by and large what sir is presenting is the module-wise number of questions in paper 1.
So according to me, economics is 15, history, science and geography 14 each, polity is 12, environment is 10, IR, international relations related around 7 and general knowledge around 4. So when we need to have a balanced preparation, that is the bottom line for all. You cannot leave any area. And in history, if you look, I think hardly any modern India question. So that is also a concern because traditionally we tend to ignore ancient and medieval and end up doing more modern, but now it's also a problem. So we need to.
Culture is heavy.
Ancient, medieval,
yes.
and
Even, in current affairs, that international and all, mostly current related only, but just see, if you have that flair of reading a general news item rather than only prepared material, if you read the newspaper, at least read the headlines, especially Hindu newspaper or Indian Express, it can be of great help. So wide reading, textbook reading, these are the kind of things, I think we should, and understanding, not just mugging up things, that understanding polity answers. I think with good understanding, economics again requires good understanding, geography requires, of course, no such facts. Of course, some map related questions are there, but otherwise we need good understanding also.
And while we are giving explanation for answers in paper 1 through message from some of the students, we have learned that this year's CSAT paper is comparatively easy. I don't know, some of them have sent this message.
Comprehension passages were more manageable this year.
Comprehension and passages were more manageable this year. So the possibility of you qualifying CSAT is high. And from our side, we say that if you are scoring 75, 78 and above, you are a borderline case and you must very seriously start the preparation for the main. 82, 85, the possibility of you getting a call for main is very high. This is for general category, and accordingly you can, based on your own category, can judge what can be the cutoff, possible cutoff for this year.
You can see the previous year cutoffs and you can judge accordingly. It may not be much different for various other categories. So the bottom line is relax maybe today, maybe one more day rest, but not more than that.
3 days, let them
And
relax.
start immediately, fight it out. There's a golden chance waiting for you to clear this exam. We never know. Even now, you can start.
And one good thing in comparison with previous year, that this year, the number of people who will get the call for main will be high because the number of vacancies are
Higher.
1,000 plus. Okay. So last year only 685 people have qualified, but in comparison to that, if you see somewhere around 25-30% more vacancies are there. So even at prelims level, the number of successful candidates will be 25-30% higher than 2021 attempt. So that further can pull down the cutoff.
If
you
not,
know.
it will not increase.
If not, then it will not increase. Okay. So that's all. So,
One last message for all of you is that this circus called examination analysis is okay for entertainment. 1 or 2 days of analysis, then you have to get back into the reality of preparation. We invite all the students to come and talk to us, attend some of the workshops we will have. You can walk in and discuss with the optional teachers. We have the history faculty here. We have the faculty for public administration. We have the faculty for sociology, Shweta madam. Geography, I'll be there. GS will be headed by Jojo sir and Manish sir. Do come, walk in on any of these coming days and discuss what should be a strategy for preparation for the mains. After 2 years of pandemic, we are getting back to normal. I think the constraints of last 2 years have been now removed. Prepare well, write answers, join a good answer writing practice program and test series, which even ALS Edukemy will be offering. So start the preparation, don't take a long break and get into the discussions of what is the right cutoff or what is the right percent of people qualifying. So from my side, it's all the best. My wishes. Yes, you can conclude it. Thank you.
all the best. Best wishes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.